Hello, XL Cruisers. Are you hungry? Because this video is all about the food available to you on the XL class cruise ships. Now, for the most part, they are identical from top to bottom. Now, they might be named something different. They might have a different menu item per se, but for the most part, all of these ships are going to have pretty much the same menus. Like I say, maybe a different name of the restaurant, but pretty much the same menu. You get the idea. Now, we're going to be using the current flagship, that is the Carnival Celebration, as a reference point. The Mardi Gras obviously was first, and the Carnival Jubilee is going to be here in just a month or two, depending upon when you're watching this video, right? But there are floors and floors of food choices and food options for you. So right after we hear from my cousin Cookie, we'll get into it.
Oh, YouTubers, check me. This is Cookie, your cruise director on the Carnival Horizon down in Miami, Florida. Trust me, number one, you want to follow this man's channel, Coach Cruise, because he's the absolute best coach out here. Not about fitness, but about cruising. Trust me, he's going to make sure you have the best time ever because he knows the ins and outs of every cruise that you go on. So click that like, follow button, and share more about this brother right here. Not only is he my coach, but he's my cousin. We'll see you all on the next cruise. Until then, we're out of here.
All right, so we are going to get right into it because it's going to take a long time to talk about 20 plus places to eat, right? So we're going to start at the very top and we're going to work our way down floor by floor to give you a better viewpoint of where these food options are going to be to make it easier for you to make a decision on where you want to eat. Now, look at it this way. I've always told people on the XL class cruises, you really need 2 weeks to really experience the whole thing. As I told you, and we'll go over in this video, there are 20 plus places to eat. That means you would have to eat 3 meals a day, right, at all of these places just to try them all. So unless you're booked on a back-to-back cruise or, you booked this same ship, 1 week and then you're going to go on it again, in a few months or whatever else like that, it's going to be difficult to hit all these places. So that's why you're watching a video like this. You'll get my opinions on which ones I like the most. And then, depending upon your flavor, your taste, you decide which you feel like you have to go to, and we'll go from there. So we're going to start up on deck 18. Now, the only place to eat here is at the Serenity Deck, and they have the Fresh Creations, Fresh Express salad bar that you can go to. And there's a lot of different toppings and things like that. But if you want something light, if you want something healthy, that's your place to go. All right, now down on deck 17, they have given a generous amount of space to the iconic Guy's Burgers. And who hasn't had a Guy's Burger? Unless you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you've probably gone to Guy's Burgers and enjoyed one of their very scrumptious, tasty burgers. And of course, the burgers are free, so you can eat as many burgers and as many French fries as you can fit in your belly. So there are a variety of different choices. Like I say, you can ask for a double patty. You can get a pig patty and ask for them to put an onion ring on it. They're very accommodating and give you a little extra stuff. And then if you just want to get a plain Jane cheeseburger, right, their toppings bar has a ton of different toppings available for you to choose from. All right, so that's going to get us down to the Lido deck, and we're going to start at the back of the ship with Shaq's Chicken. And this is my favorite place to eat on the entire ship for free food. And that is the new addition to the Carnival cruise fleet. It's only on a few ships, but that is Shaq's Big Chicken. Shaq's Big Chicken is phenomenal, and it's free. Just like Guy's Burgers, you can get as many chicken sandwiches as you want. And let me tell you, the fried chicken patties that they give you are nice and thick and juicy. It's not some skimpy little, piece of chicken that they're putting on there. It is a nice, big, hearty piece of chicken. Now, I like the spicier variety. They offer, some milder chicken sandwiches, and then they offer a spicy variety. My favorite was the Uncle Jerome, which on my cruising, they had taken off the menu. I hope they bring that back because that was my favorite chicken sandwich. It had some spice to it. They still have another spicy chicken sandwich. It just wasn't the Uncle Jerome, in my opinion. And it's also offered for breakfast. So you can go get some chicken biscuits, for example, have them dip them in some hot honey, and yeah, that's a pretty good chicken biscuit right there too for breakfast. So breakfast or lunch. Now the lines will be long, and on day of embarkation, it seems like everybody that hasn't been to Shaq's Big Chicken wants to try it out, and that's the first thing they want to eat. So if you're one of the lucky ones to get on the ship early, make a V-line right to Shaq's Big Chicken. When I got there, there was hardly no line at all. And then, you know, by the time I got to my chicken sandwich and actually sat down and everything, I looked again, and the line was crazy long. So it's not something you want to wait around and you know, get straight up there. Okay, so on the other side of Shaq's Chicken, once you start walking in the main doors, that's where you're going to come to the Lido Marketplace. And that's where you're going to find your buffet. So there's going to be a wide variety of different foods, you know, many different cultures. So you're going to be able to find something that you enjoy. I tend to stay away from the buffet because I like, you know, more specific items. And I just feel like, you know, there's better offerings other places. But, you know, the celebration might be a little bit different because it seems like they have so many offerings in that Lido Marketplace that I'm guessing you'll be able to find something that you really enjoy in there as well. So much food on the celebration. But let's keep walking through the Lido Marketplace, and when we exit the doors and we get to the main pool, just on the other side of the main pool is the Blue Iguana Cantina, and that is where you are going to get your fresh made tacos and burritos. One line, they serve you tacos. The other line, they'll serve you burritos. And they do offer burritos, breakfast burritos in the morning as well. So keep that in mind. Or huevos rancheros, which is one of my favorites. So the tacos, like I said, you can, you know, usually they'll offer like shrimp or, you know, the little fish patties or chicken or beef or pork. It just depends on the day. Just check the menu, and they usually have at least 3 different offerings. My thing I like to do is get one of each and then just load them up with all the different toppings at their toppings bar, and it is a nice toppings bar. They have just about everything there. And yeah, just get yourself a cold drink. My choice is a cold beer to go with those tacos, and you're in a little bit of heaven. Now, just across the way, the first restaurant you would come to across from the Blue Iguana Cantina is the Seafood Shack. Now, of course, that's where you're going to have all your seafood. You can get peel and eat shrimp. You can get lobster rolls. You can get clam chowder. You can get a host of different things there, oysters. But it is at a cost. You know, a couple of my favorites that don't break the bank are the peel and eat shrimp. You can get a pound of peel and eat shrimp, for example, and they're hearty shrimp, and they serve you melted butter to go along with it. And that would be about $13 for a pound of peel and eat shrimp at market price, at least when I cruised recently. And then a bowl of clam chowder is still only $5. And it's, you know, often you get plenty of clams in there, and it's a really tasty bowl of clam chowder. It used to be served in a bread bowl. Seems like they're getting away from the bread bowl, unfortunately, but it's still a good value for only $5. Next to the Seafood Shack, that's where you have your street eats. And appropriately named, it's smaller portion size, you know, appetizers that they change on a daily basis. So it's not going to be the same thing every day. You know, for example, there's 3 different stations there. One of the stations is called, you know, it's a fry station. So it's pretty much going to be some variety of fries each day. And, you know, but they're going to put different toppings on those fries. But who doesn't love French fries, right? So that's my favorite station there. And then they have an Asian station, and I forget the other station, but it's nice. It's a nice little variety, especially if you're not too hungry and you see something there you just want to try. You know, it might not ruin your appetite for dinner, or if you want to get a, you know, a more solid lunch or something like that. So the street eats is a good choice there to try some things out. All right, so that pretty much does it for decks 18, 17, and 16. So we're going to go all the way down to deck 8 now, because it's just staterooms between decks 16 and 8. We're going to start at the back of the ship, and that's where we're going to go to Guy's Smokehouse Brew House. And they do offer dinner here, and it is free of cost. Now, they did used to offer a more extensive menu It seems like they got away from that. When I was on the Mardi Gras, for example, they had a different menu and a different, specialty for the night. Like the day of embarkation, for example, you could get a steak. They've gotten away from that, and the menu is more limited. It's kind of what you would get on your Sea Day brunch, for Sea Day barbecue. That you would get on the other Carnival ships. So we kind of passed on that. I think they kind of missed on that, and they need to go back to offering a few more items on the menu for dinner. But if you really like your barbecue, you might want to try that out, or if you just like barbecue in general. It's not my top pick for barbecue, to be quite honest. I think you can do better, and I think it used to be better, but I don't know. It's just my opinion. Go check it out for yourself. Hopefully you feel different and you really love it. All right. Now, as you exit out of Guy's Smokehouse Brew House, you come to a specialty restaurant that'll be on your left. And that is Rudys Seafood Grill. And that is at a cost, and it's a little heftier cost. It's like $48 per person. But you do get, a nice offering of appetizers, and for example, you can get a lobster tail if you like, a stuffed lobster tail. And if you're a seafood lover, that might be the place for you. And then they have this key lime pie that I just love at Rudys Seafood Grill. But again, that is going to be at a cost. Now, as you exit out of there, you're going to come to the Deco Deli. And it has most of your traditional deli sandwiches that you would find on other Carnival ships, with an added one of the Cuban sandwich, for the Miami-themed cruise ship. And just some fabulous sandwiches there that they will make you. Just like all the other delis throughout the Carnival fleet, you are going to get some fabulous sandwiches at the Deco Deli. And right next to the Deco Deli is the pizza place. Now, some people just love the pizza. The pizza place is open crazy late, just like on all other Carnival ships. So you'll see people there late at night waiting to get pizza. I'm from Chicago, so we have some of the best pizza in the world. I'll be honest, the pizza is not my thing, just because, like I said, I'm used to the best. And no offense to anybody else out there that loves the pizza in their city, but Chicago's got some pretty darn good pizza. It's just kind of like the barbecue down in Texas. That's tough to beat down there, right? And that's the kind of the way it is for pizza. So when I eat pizza here and then I go on a ship and eat pizza, it's like, I'll pass. So that's just my feeling on that. But you might like it, so if you're a big pizza fan, by all means, especially if you're hungry and there's nothing else open, pizza might be pretty good, right? All right, so now, as you leave out of the pizza, you're on deck 8. You're going to keep going, and above, the top deck, of part of Celebration Central, you're going to come to Bonsai Sushi. Now, here's another at-cost restaurant, but it's more of an a la carte at cost. So you get your sushi rolls, you can get soups, but it's at a cost. It's not too expensive as sushi goes. It's relatively affordable, and it's some pretty good sushi. So you can check that out if you want. A lot of people like bonsai teppanyaki. Now that is at a cost. It's under $40 for your dinner selection, but it's a show. You get your own personal chef for about 10 to 11 people. They sit at a station. So if you're with a family of 4, you might be with another family of 4 and a couple or something, for example. And then you get your choice of, steak or chicken or shrimp or, whatever the protein that you choose, along with the, shrimp fried rice and all the other things that go along with what you would expect at a bonsai teppanyaki, kind of like a benihana. All right. And then finally, we go all the way to the back, and that's where you're going to find Chabang. And Chabang is a combination of Mexican and Chinese combined. So one menu is a Mexican themed menu, and the other one is an Asian themed menu. And you can order from both of them if you like, or you can stick to one region. Now, I will say I've gotten a whole different bunch of opinions on this. Some people just love Chabang. They say that's their favorite restaurant on the ship. I've heard other people say they don't like it at all. I'm kind of in between. It's kind of hit or miss. I've had some good things there, and I've had some, that's all right. So that's kind of where I was on it. But, it's definitely good enough to check out. And, I just done skipped the Italian place. So actually, when you come past the pizza place, on your left is Cucina. So we're backing up. We went all the way to the back. But yeah, I forgot. After the pizza place, I'm sorry, on your left will be Cucina del Capitano, and that is free also. One thing that you might note about Cucina is on the elegant nights, when you would go to the main dining room for your lobster tail or your prime rib that you might get on other ships, you can get it there at Cucina as well. So sometimes without the long waits that you might have to wait to get into the MDR, the table might open up sooner at Cucina. Now, Cucina has a lot of pastas, obviously, being an Italian restaurant. The spaghetti carbonara is a can't miss, in my opinion. They have some really great appetizers, and all of that is for free. They do have some things that are at cost, but it's very minimal. For the most part, their menu is free. And, you know, so for free, I say you can't beat it, and you should definitely go to Cucina at least once during your cruise. All right, so that does it for Deck 8, and I'm glad I remembered Cucina, because I'm sure I would have heard about it if I didn't. All right, so we're going to go down to Deck 7. Now, Deck 7 doesn't have a lot of food offerings, mostly because the casino takes up most of Deck 7. But if you come out of the casino, in the middle of Deck 7, you're going to go past the Alchemy Bar, which is my favorite bar. We'll get to that in a minute. And once you pass the Alchemy Bar, you're going to come to the Steakhouse, Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. You'll see the bar first, but you can go to the host or hostess and get a reservation for the Steakhouse. I would encourage you to book a reservation in advance. The Steakhouse can be quite popular amongst 6,000 cruisers, and oftentimes, most nights it is sold out. So I would book in advance if you're going to book the Steakhouse. For the money, I feel it's one of the best values. It's roughly $48 per person, and you get 2 appetizers, 2 hearty appetizers. For example, smoked oysters, lobster bisque, stuffed mushrooms. Those are just a few. Tuna tartare is one of my wife's favorites. And there's a host of others, but some great appetizers, and then a great selection of steaks. You can get surf and turf if you like. You can just get a lobster tail if you like. So there are a number of great opportunities to really just indulge here. I like to get the spiced ribeye or the Cowboy Steak. Order a medium rare, you know, with a baked potato and maybe an onion ring or something like that, and it's just fabulous. You know, a nice drink, and then you have a great piece of cheesecake to go along with that at the end of the night, or some really good ice cream. Yeah, it's good stuff. So it's worth the $48. I would do it at least once, and we do it at least once on every cruise. So that is my recommendation there. Now, once you leave out of the Steakhouse, if you continue to walk toward the forward of the ship, that is where you're going to come into the top floor of the main dining room. And on floor 7 and floor 6, you have your main dining room. That is the largest dining room area. And like I said, it spans decks 6 and 7. So let's go down to deck 6 since we're in the main dining room, and we're going to work our way back now. So as you leave out of the main dining room, and they do offer, you know, traditional menus in the main dining room, and it's a large, spacious dining room, beautiful chandeliers. But as we leave out of there, we're going to come to Emerald's Beastro. And before we even get to Emerald's Beastro, there's a place called the Carnival Kitchen. Now, you can't eat here per se, but you cook your own food. And on a lot of these classes, and you have to sign up for the classes, and the classes are at a cost, but you get to eat what you make. So it can be a lot of fun. You know, for example, my wife and I, we did a pie class, and they'll deliver the pies to you at your dinner, or they'll deliver them to your stateroom, and you can take them home. We did it on one of the last days, so we ended up leaving our pie for our stateroom steward. I hope they enjoyed the pie. We just didn't want to take it in our luggage or whatever. But it was a lot of fun going to the class, and there are several classes like that. So that might be something you might want to look into. But Emerald's Beastro, now that is at a cost. Everything on their menu costs something. you know, but they do have some really good offerings. I know Lee, the cruise director, keeps telling me the Bananas Foster is to die for. And I keep forgetting to get it. I'm going to make sure I make a point and get it on this next cruise, Thanksgiving. I'm going to get the Bananas Foster. So that is a high recommendation from Lee Mason, the cruise director. And it is one that I'm going to definitely follow when I get on my cruise. The beans and rice, I thought were very good. And that's a cheaper cost. You know, I didn't try the crepes or anything like that, but we did have some of the, the jambalaya. We had jambalaya one time, I remember, and it was very good, but we did it on the Mardi Gras. So I can't tell you too much about Emerald's Bistro other than some recommendations that I've gotten. All right, now there is another food venue on the 6th floor, and that is the Jaba Blue Cafe. And you may say, oh, that's the coffee shop. What do you mean they got food there? They do. And it's great. Now, they offer sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches in the morning that are free. And they offer, you know, yogurts and fruits and things like that. They offer to-go items. So in other words, if you don't want to go to the main dining room or if you don't want to go to the Lido buffet, you can go down and you can pick out a couple different breakfast sandwiches and say, hey, can you, toast those up for me? And they will toast them up for you, hand them to you, and you got a couple breakfast sandwiches without the big long wait in line. And, it's really great, grab a napkin or something, wrap it up, throw it in your beach bag, and you can have a sandwich for when you get to the beach later that morning, right? So that's just an option. And then as you get into the later hours, they'll have, some lunch type sandwiches or early evening. And again, those are all free. Now they do have things that are at a cost, and those are usually your decadent desserts, your really cool looking cakes and cookies and cupcakes and things like that, and donuts. Those are at a cost, but the sandwiches and stuff that you see, those are free, so take advantage of that. So that pretty much covers the food. All right, so that's a longer video than I normally like to do, but there's just so many food choices that even going through it quickly, it takes a while to get through it all. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much if you've gotten to this point in the video, you've watched through the whole thing. I'm assuming, or I'm hoping at least, that if you've gotten this far, you've really enjoyed the video, and hopefully you'll enjoy future videos of mine. So if you're not already a subscriber, if you could hit that subscribe button and the like button, that would be awesome. Feel free to share this with other XL cruisers that you may know that might be going on the cruise with you. And appreciate your support and appreciate you watching the video. And we'll see you on a cruise soon. And have a fabulous cruise yourself. Take care.
Do such an awesome job.
Oh, sure.
And secondly, and this one is huge, like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you know when this man is posting more videos.
I appreciate that you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
I just can't get away from a good time.